and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am basically going to talk extensively about what are the basic steps you should consider while writing an individual report for global perspective. I had already uploaded a video based on individual report. However, this you can consider as a second part of that particular video. However, in this particular video, I am covering majorly the curriculum starting from 2025 onwards. So I have also briefed you about the latest change in the curriculum, and then we go ahead with what are the basic steps in writing an individual report. So yes, let's get started with the video. Today we are going to talk about individual report in global perspective subject, and this is specifically for the curriculum starting from 2025 onwards. So let's understand that what are the different components in the subject. Okay, so the first component here is written exam which is for 70 marks, and it consists of 4 compulsory questions based on the range of sources provided with the question paper. It is externally assessed, means the Cambridge assesses this particular paper. Then we have component 2, that is what we are going to talk about today, and it covers 30% of your scores, like total marks. Out of total marks, 30% is allocated for individual report, which is for 60 marks. Candidates research a significant global issue of their choice from the topic list. So I will share the topic list, which is changed now. So you have to be very particular and you should know what are the topics covered from 2025 appearing students onwards. 2025 onwards appearing students. Okay. On the global issue, and candidates devise their own title, writes a report. The report must be 1,500 to 2,000 words and be written in a continuous text. It is internally set and externally marked. Okay, so your teachers are going to support you for writing this particular essay, and however it is assessed by Cambridge University. Now next is component 3, which is your team project, which carries 70 marks. It's constitute of 35% of your total marks allocated for global perspective. Candidates works in team to choose from the topic list and identify a local issue. They devise and develop collaborative project on an aspect of the issue considered from a range of perspectives. The team project has 2 elements, team element and personal element. Team element is what you submit as a team, that carries 25 marks, and personal element is for 40 marks, which you are going to write. And it's a reflective paper that you write based on your experiences for that particular project. Okay, now moving on to the most important aspect of any IGCSE, or I would say Cambridge subject, that is your assessment objectives. Many a times students just ignore this part, and because they are not informed many a times, so they end up ignoring this part, and this is very, very important to be there in your head. How are you marked based on different assessment objectives? So in global perspective, there are majorly 3 different assessment objectives that we are going to look at: AO1, AO2. AO stands for assessment objective. AO1, AO2 and AO3. So now looking at AO1, that is your assessment objective 1, which focuses on research, analysis and evaluation. So what are you expected to do? Okay, so these objectives are majorly for the examiners, so that they know based on what criteria you are supposed to mark the student. So design and carry out, evaluate research into current global issue, their causes and consequences and possible course of action. So most important thing is you should be focusing on current global issue, which many a times we do not do. And while you even select the topic, the relevance of the topic should be such that the issue should be focusing majorly on current global issue. Use evidence to support claims, arguments and perspectives. Okay, evidence is important. That is your statistics and facts Identify and analyze issue, argument and perspective. So now this is your personal response, because you are going to identify, analyze what's the problem, and then based on the issue, arguments and perspectives. So there are 3 major, minimum you should be covering at least 2 perspectives, but to write a very good essay, try to cover as many perspectives. Bare minimum is 3. That is your global perspective, national perspective, and local perspective or personal perspective. Okay. Now, analyze and evaluate the evidence and reasoning used to support claims, arguments, and perspective. So whenever the word evaluate comes, this is pretty confusing for students. What's the difference between analysis and evaluation? Analysis is breaking down an issue into small issues and then giving your response on the same. Evaluation is weighing the options. What are the pros and cons if you implement certain things? That is your evaluation. So this is very important to know. What's the difference between analysis and evaluation? And if you do not know that, please go on Google and research the terms. You will get the definition over there. So yeah, analyze and evaluate sources and or processes to support research, arguments, and perspective. So one is evidence, analysis, and research, and second is your sources. What sources are you referring to in your essay? Develop a line of reasoning to support an argument, a perspective, or a course of action. That is generally the conclusion. So what course of action you are suggesting and how you are suggesting that, on what basis. So we will look at it further, breaking it down for individual report, how you can frame an individual report's outline for getting maximum marks in the report. Okay. Now that is AO2, reflection. Now reflection, consider different perspectives objectively and with empathy. So Cambridge is looking at you to not only give logical personal responses, but along with that you should be empathetic towards them and write your answer based on what you exactly feel. You should be able to convince them based on your feelings, and after getting to know the logic, what exactly do you feel as a human should we think about and how we should execute it. That is more important. Justify personal perspective using evidences and reasoning. Consider how research, engagement with different perspectives, and working as a part of a team have influenced personal learning. Okay. So the last section is majorly focused on team project. So we will talk about it more when we are learning how to write when we are learning or when we are actually understanding the basics of team project and what will lead to get you good grades. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, you should consider doing it if you would want to watch that video. Moving on to the next assessment objective, that is communication and collaboration. Select and present relevant arguments, evidence, and perspectives clearly with structure. And how to write a structure, that I am going to talk about later. How to structure your paragraph also I will be discussing in detail. Present research and include citations and references. Now this is very important part. So there are different types of citations. Generally for your global perspective, we follow MLA citations. And do let me know in the comments if you would want me to make a detailed video on how to do citations to your reports, individual and team reports. Contribute to the team project that comes in contribute to the team project that comes again in team project. Now the topics for all three, individual, team, as well as your written paper, are these. These are much different than what were there before this particular syllabus, that is 2024. 2025 onwards the syllabus has changed. So these are the topics we need to look at. Arts and society, change in culture and communities, climate and energy resources, conflicts and peace, development, trade and aid, digital world, education for all, employment, environment, pollution and conservation, globalization, health and well-being, law and criminality, media and communication, migration and urbanization, political power and action, poverty and inequality, social identity and inclusion, sport and recreation, technology, industry and innovation, transport, travel and tourism, values and belief, water, food and agriculture. These are the topics you can pick any one and then write your IR on the same. Now there are certain important terms utilized even in this syllabus copy, and you will frequently hear these words from teachers, from facilitators for global perspectives, including me. So you should be aware of what does these particular terms mean. So first very important term that you will hear about is issue. Find out your issue. What is issue? Issue is an important subject or a problem of discussion. So most important thing over here is please do not have multiple issues to address. Have one major issue which can have many sub issues to address. So your title should always be one major issue for individual report. Next is perspective. Perspective is a viewpoint on an issue based on evidence and reasoning. Research the systematic study of global issue to find evidence and develop understanding. Evidence is the information about a global issue that will help to develop understanding or prove that something is true or false. Evidence is generally the data shared to prove something which is true or false, some statistics, some facts. That is your evidence. And argument is what you talk about, what is your own opinion. So series of statements containing reasons and evidences which supports a claim about a global issue. So if you are claiming something, then you have to give your arguments to support what you are claiming. Okay. Now, let's straight away move on to the checklist for individual report. This is the checklist. Before you even start writing individual report, you should be looking at this checklist and answer these questions. You can pause and take screenshots and keep it at your end, because after the class, you can just write it down in your book and answer these questions. This can act as a basic checklist to make a blueprint for your individual report. So first of all, is the report based on one of the topics? So here it, because I have already picked up from the previous one. So whatever topics your syllabus have now, based on that is your IR on. You have to choose one topic from the given topic in your syllabus copy. Is the research question focused enough to be answered on 2000 words report? Now many a times the research question is such simple that you won't be able to end up writing 2000 words essay. So it's important, as I mentioned it to you, choose a major global issue. You can have subset of basic issues under that, but your question should be one single under which you have lot of subset. Also, one important thing is your question should be as specific as possible, and most importantly, it should be targeting all three perspectives: global, local, and global, national, and local. You should be able to talk about it from all three perspectives. So these are two important things you keep in mind while selecting the title. So let me write it over here. When I'm just writing it over here, title should one be specific and should be one question only. Okay, one question only. And also it should be, you should be able to address all three perspectives: global, local, and national. Global, national, and local. Okay. Is the research question about the issue, is that global in scope? This we have covered. Is the research question answerable from different perspective? As I mentioned it to you, while you are choosing the research question, it should be answerable from different perspective. Does the introduction explain the issue and research question? This is very important, and I generally tell my students, please do write from where you got that thought of choosing this particular research question was triggered. So a short anecdote you can say of how you thought about this topic. What made you think about this topic? So it could be, for example, if I am choosing animal farming, I can say that might be one day I was watching a particular series on Netflix, You Are What You Eat, and from there it alarmed me how animals are treated when they are actually nurtured to be the product in the market. So that was something which was alarming for me, and how animal farming is affecting the global warming. Okay, so what triggered the thought process of choosing that topic? Talk about it. 1 to 2, 3 sentences is great, but that will help the examiner to know that yes, you are actually connected to this particular topic. That is my personal advice to you all. It is not written anywhere, but that will actually help you to bring that personalization in the essay. Now moving on to the 6th point is, at least one global perspective on the issue. Include it. Is it actually a perspective? This is important. What a global community thinks, not just information about the global situation. You do not need to put any information. Keep it as a perspective, what different global community thinks about. Okay. Then again, same is applicable for the national perspective. It should be a proper issue or perspective. It should not be just the information that you are giving out. Many a times students get confused between the perspective or issue and the information. Information is just when you are giving out certain data, and perspective is when you are getting in. So information is the superficial part, and when you go in depth, you identify the problem, analyze the problem, evaluate the problem, how it is affecting different people of the world. That is perspective. Okay, so it's important to know the difference. Please note down what I just said. It might help you to exactly differentiate between information and perspective. Moving on to the next one, does the report contains balanced range? This is very important. Sometimes it happens that we tend to focus more on global issue or national issue or local issue. No, it should be balanced. Very, very important thing. And secondly, while you are even drafting it, you should have, like, if you are having 10 points for global, try to have 10 to 12 similar range of points for local and national as well. This will help you to balance your writing part as well when you are actually sitting and writing the essay. Does the report analyze the cause of the issue? This is very important in global perspective. You are writing from a perspective of a leader, and for any issue, if you want to solve it, you need to figure out the cause of that issue. Only then you'll be able to solve that, and that is very, very important. Okay. Now the next one, that is, does the report analyze consequences of the issue? Consequences, cause, consequences, and solution also. All the factuals supported with evidence and in-text attribution to cite their sources. In addition to in-text attribution, there is also a complete list of full references to source cited. Is it a separate document as required? Is it the format of citation and references suitable and consistent? If the student has included any primary research, are the key source of information evaluated? Every single source you give in your essay should be talked about. The one best thing to do is, while you're planning, take a blueprint of, write down the pointers that you are going to cover and then start writing the essay. Okay. Now 15th is the range of sources of information used. Are they of suitable quality? Is the range of types of information used authentic? Website, authentic sources, authenticity matters a lot. So whenever even you're taking certain sources of websites or any particular source, please make sure it is authentic. It should not be a random blog post or anything. It should be authentic data that you are referring to give your own perspective. Okay, again, section headings are important. Or you can say, give sections of global, whether it is global issue or what issue globally you are focusing on, what issue at a national level you are focusing on, what issue at a local level you are focusing on, and also the conclusion part. What action do you think we should take? What are the consequences of that action? How you can implement it at local level, so on and so forth. Should be well section. It should be a well sectioned essay. What I'll do is I'll share a link of an exemplar essay here in the description. Go there and look at it. You will get an idea of what exactly I'm talking about. Does the report, okay, are there any charts and diagrams? Are very, very important. So when we talk about charts and diagram, they should be there. They should be properly labeled. And just below that, you should be talking for that particular chart or diagram only. It shouldn't be that you have, in the first paragraph, you are talking about the chart or diagram that you have put up, which is in the fourth paragraph. Do not do that. Wherever you are sharing the chart and diagram, make sure just below that you are talking about it, so the examiner can relate to what he or she is reading to, and there will be a flow in the essay. That is very important. Does every paragraph stay relevant to the research question? This is extensively important. That is the reason better to break it down into different perspective. Does the report reach a conclusion which is a clear answer to the research question? You have to give what action people should take, what action we should take at government level, at global level, at local level, at personal level to tackle that particular issue. So your problem is not, your task is not just showing the problem to people, showing the problem, consequences, causes, and solution. That is what you are looking at. So what are you showing? Problem, causes, consequences, and solution. These are 4 basic parameters you should focus on while you are even planning the essay. Under each section, problem will be your title. Under each section, what will is the global problem, national problem, local problem. Causes, what is global, national, local. Consequences, what is global, national, local. So on and so forth. I hope you liked watching this video and you have learned a lot from this video. So any question, let me know in the comments below. And most importantly, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on my Instagram handle, which is here, Karishma Attar _ official. That is my Instagram handle. And if you want to ask any question that I can answer directly, I will be able to answer directly. And one more thing is, in case if you are wanting to go, okay, thank you, have a great day, bye bye. Okay, thank you in this, and see you in my next video.